If you ever get a text at 2 a.m. from an unknown number telling you to walk outside and check under your mailbox, do it. Don't overthink it. Just go. My son Leo is 9. 18 months ago, I lost primary custody of him to my ex-wife, Claire, a well-known local politician. Poised, articulate, the kind of woman who never raises her voice because she's never had to. During the custody battle, she showed up to court in cashmere, spoke in that soft, measured tone that judges eat up, and had half the town council ready to vouch for her character. My lawyer told me flat out, family court almost always sides with the calm parent. Claire is calm. Cruelty doesn't need volume when it happens behind closed doors with no witnesses. I got Leo every other weekend, and every time he came back to me, he was smaller, quieter. The kid used to live for baseball. Now he flinched if I dropped a spoon on the kitchen tile. In July, in 90-degree heat, he wouldn't take off his long sleeves. When I finally asked why, he just stared at the floor and whispered that his mom said his arms were too skinny and people would stare. I knew something was wrong. I felt it in my bones. But you can't hand a judge a feeling. You can't submit a flinch as evidence. Then in October, Claire told me, coldly, like she was reading off a grocery list, that Leo had broken his wrist skateboarding. She took him to some private urgent care clinic outside my insurance network and made sure I couldn't touch his records. She even got the custody agreement amended to keep me away, claiming my presence caused her severe emotional distress. I was boxed out completely, powerless, until that Tuesday night. My phone buzzed at 2:14 a.m., a text from a burner number. Go to your mailbox, look underneath, don't reply. I almost ignored it, but I went outside anyway, and taped under the cold metal box was a thick envelope. Inside were printed x-ray films and a handwritten letter. It was from someone named Marcus, a radiology tech at the clinic. He wrote that if anyone found out he'd printed these files, he'd lose his license, but he said he couldn't sleep knowing what he'd seen on Leo's scans. When he x-rayed the wrist, the imaging picked up more than a fresh break. There were several older hairline fractures scattered along Leo's forearm, and one severe spiral fracture that had healed completely on its own. Never set, never casted. Marcus said those are textbook defensive injuries, the kind you get from raising your arm to block a blow. He'd flagged it immediately, but Claire made 2 calls to people she knew from her fundraising circuit, people who sat on the clinic's board, and the report disappeared. Marcus kept the raw files anyway. Medical imaging doesn't lie, his note ended. Get a shark of a lawyer and subpoena the hard drives before someone wipes the server. I sat on my driveway in the dark, holding those papers, shaking, barely able to breathe. The next morning, I hired the most ruthless former DA I could find. We filed an emergency motion and subpoenaed the clinic's server before anyone could touch it. Timestamps, metadata, all of it. There was no scrubbing a digital trail that deep. At the emergency hearing, Claire walked in wearing her usual beige armor, ready to play the soft-spoken victim one more time. Then the judge put the scans up on the projector. Time-stamped. High resolution. Undeniable. The judge looked straight at her and asked how a skateboard fall explains a 4-month-old defensive spiral fracture. She froze, stammered, and then the mask just cracked. Her face went red, and she started screaming at her own attorney in the middle of the courtroom. Everyone saw it. 18 months of performance, gone in 10 seconds. I was granted full emergency custody that day. Criminal charges are pending. Yesterday, Leo played his first baseball game in 2 years. Short sleeves, no hesitation, smiling like the kid I remembered. I still don't know who Marcus really is beyond that letter.